Yeah, so that's what they average,
So,
right?
yeah.
Or proximity on
That's
the
the
irons.
dispersion.
Yeah.
If you're a pro, that's basically what you're.
That's what I use as straight when I'm
Right.
running someone through a track
Right.
man combine.
So if you hit 100 balls as a pro, you're going to hit, 50% of them to the left or 50% of them to the right. So then what he's looking, he's just applying the 5% rule here on the yardages.
Oh, so that's a percentage.
Yeah, this is like a radius.
That's 5% of
80 yards.
Yeah, so from 80 yards, you should hit it within, is it 4 yards?
4%.
4 yards, yeah.
4 yards.
Okay, so then that thing, the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right, those are your modifiers.
So let me see if I can
That's their goal, but that's not really their average, right? That's like.
Oh, here we go. So like,
They don't really get close.
so this one. Okay, so. Okay, it's that right there, right?
Right.
So what does that mean?
Okay, so this right here, okay, so say your like ball is down here. If the flag is, I guess, where that arrow is.
Okay.
Okay, depending on where the flag is, if the flag's back here, you don't need to add that much. Or you don't need to add
that's
anything.
Yards?
Yeah.
Those are yards. Those are modifiers.
Mm-hmm. So what this 1 yard means is that you should aim 1 yard to the right because there's a sand trap here.
Oh.
And this 2 means that, okay, like the numbers in the sand traps vary depending
2 yards
on how
from
deep
your,
it is.
well, it depends on your dispersion line, right? So is that a line right there for his dispersion line?
No, that's a
No,
1.
that's a 1.
That's a 1?
That's
okay.
You add 1 yard.
So say you're a drawer
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
and like it draws with say you're 140, what did you hit 130 yards, 8 iron?
Yeah.
So how do you work through that? Where would you start your ball?
So let's say the pin's right here where the arrow is, right?
Okay.
So it's 130 yards.
Whoops.
So you go and you look at your 130 yards. So it's saying to aim 7 yards to the right.
Okay.
So in other words, you got to figure out where the pin is. If the pin is,
Say it's there.
okay, so how far is it from the left? 4 yards or?
Yeah, say it's 3, 4
3 yards.
pace.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
3
10
yards.
feet, let's say.
So it's 7 yards to either side. So if you hit the ball, you know that it can go 7 yards to the left, so it's going to go to the trap, right? So that's why you have to add those 2 yards and go more to the right. So from the pin, you go 7 plus 2, and then that's 9. So you aim 9 yards to the right.
Okay.
In order to
So what if
land
you're
it on
a
the
cutter? Then same scenario. So this is 9 feet, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Or 10
so then
feet.
you would aim 2 yards to the left because you want to avoid that side.
The left of this screen. Wait, what?
So it's still 3 yards from this side.
Because like a cutter starting line may be
Right.
here, right?
That's right.
And a drawler's maybe here, but you're moving to there, say. So where does a cutter,
Again, depending on what their dispersion.
Well, a cutter
we're
would want
using
to avoid
center,
everything on the
center.
right side.
Okay.
So they have to look at everything over here, whereas a drawer would want to look at everything on the left side and try and avoid everything on the left side.
But even as a cutter, I'd want to avoid the left side here.
Well,
You want
yeah.
to avoid the left side.
So,
so this is for every hole.
no, that's just
Just
different
total?
distances if you
Oh,
have
okay.
that far. That's the proximity. Okay. So here's a pin sheet, I guess.
That's exactly what he did. There you go. It's 147. So you did 7 yards. He added 2, right? That's the
Yeah.
pin placement.
So he added 2 from the left,
Right.
and that's where he's going to start.
So he's
his
going to
ball.
start from the edge, 9 yards from the edge. That's what he's doing
Okay.
in this particular scenario because he actually gave you the yardage.
And now is this for a cutter or a drawer? I know he cuts the ball, he says.
Yeah.
So,
That's basically I would put him right next to the pin on his miss.
okay. And if he hits it good, he would
Yeah,
be
so should he hit it straight, it'd be right there. Should he cut it, it'd be right
on
there.
the short side, but safe.
Okay, if you
Okay.
know you're never going to hit it to the left, that's what he's doing is.
Okay, so
adding
he's
those-
adding 7
Yeah, he's
from
adding.
the front, so he'll
Yeah.
air back here, kind of.
He'll arrow 9 yards to the right from the edge. You see that? 9
Yeah.
yards from the edge. That's where his target is. The X, which
Okay.
is 9 yards.
All right.
Why so far to the right? I don't understand why he's going so far to the right. I mean, that's pretty far, 9 yards. I mean,
Because
No, it's 2 yards. Right?
Well, greens are usually like 30 yards.
and
Yeah,
it-
so you're pretty much right center, left center,
So-
same
Like my
side of the
draws
flag.
normally go 7 to 10 yards.
Yes.
That's normally what my normal draw is.
Right.
So.
But the thing is, he might like aim it 7 yards right at the flag, trying to get to that left pin, but then 10 yards, now he's bouncing in the bunker. And he really didn't hit that bad of a shot for him. Like, it's a good shot, but he's in the bunker.
Right. So the other way he does it is
Here, you can use that. Probably
is-
know better than I do.
the reason why he does the 2 yards is because if he doesn't get it on the green, he gets it in the bunker, then he knows it's going to at least take 2 shots to get out of the bunker. That's what the averages indicate. So that's why he wants to give himself
2 shots to get out of the bunker, 2
Yeah.
shots
well
up and
to
down
score, right?
for Tour Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be like 2 points.
Yeah, because
something.
that's an easy bunker shot once it's
Right.
downhill for pros. Just
Right.
they try to make it.
So he tries to get himself in a position to get on the green, because he probably can make, a 15 to 20 footer, and at least get 1 stroke versus 2 strokes.
That's why caddies can be really helpful, because you're dealing with nerves and all that stuff. But if your caddy knows, they all, like Scott Fawcett, a lot of them have worked with them and they've gotten all their numbers. Their caddies are able to go through the analytics or the,
So
the number side of things, and they can focus on their process and their visualization of the shot.
So if you
That's why it's hard for us as not tour pro, to get it all right,
You
get your
need-
mindset.
You have to do both sides yourself. You have
Yeah.
nobody to help you do either.
There's
You
like
gotta-
an analytical side, but then you got to be a player ultimately.
You can't get it out of your mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really-
so if you think about your reason why is he aiming so far to the right? Well, when he picks his target, you see that he makes the modification, right? So he makes 9 yards, and then when he picks his target,
What's
that goes-
that?
How far away is the shoot?
he goes through
147
the
yards.
process. He goes, okay, I know what my expectation is. Now I'm going to correct it, because I'm going to go 9 yards to the right, but I'm going to go ahead and take off the 4 yards from the pin. So my target is really going to be 5 yards from the pin. That's really my target. So 5 yards.
And
is
then you
15
got to
yards.
go through a routine and get yourself to really
And so the
believe
closer
that's
you
your
are,
target.
the less error,
That's right.
this correction factor, right? You're getting closer, more to the pin, the closer in you are. It seems you can be hitting better shots.
So,
right?
so the expectation is that the dispersion is going to be 7 yards. So if you think about it, he's giving himself 2 yards on the left side.
Probably
Yes,
go on the
he can
course.
putt, he
Uh,
can still putt if he pulls it.
Oh, I'm gonna go through one more.
Me and Emma versus all of
Okay, okay.
again. We'll
Yeah, but if he just hits a stock shot,
That's
he's
No.
going to be
fair.
able to putt uphill.
Me
No.
and Emma versus you.
and
So
still
Emma's one of the
achieve
best
30.
high school girls in the state.
I ain't watching
And
this stuff. I just
You're
do
one
something
of the
around the
best
world. We have to
13-year-olds
all
in the
day
country.
over. I work
I don't
all
think
day.
that's fair, and you hit the ball as far as I do.
You're a PGA Tour player, and you're a high schooler, and you're
That
a
don't
big
mean a
boy.
thing.
So Jordan Spieth is 25, and Justin Thomas is 25. Phil Mickelson's
Can't putt
48.
anymore.
So
Yeah.
why does Justin Thomas flip up on him?
Yeah.
Because he's better.
In golf, well, it's all wrong. A lot
It's
of
all
things.
it's all wrong.
Okay, so
My dad
That's
said
what
y'all-
I just said. That-
Y'all get like 2 strokes, like
okay, so for you,
10. That's even more fair.
So I know. So if you don't use Decade Golf, so every serious golfer says they want to be serious. I ask them what they want to work on, and they all kind of give me an opinion, but they don't really know. And like TrackMan says, why guess when you can measure? So they use Decade Golf, which is a very good tool, but might be overwhelming at first, where this one's a little simpler. But at least if you come in for a lesson, like we were talking about earlier, I can know exactly what part of your putting is not good, because we got the data, right? So if we go, whoever's not set up, I'll set you up with it for a 30-day trial. You can try it, because through Blast, and I'll probably be switching to a different system in a couple months, because I partnered with a different company that's going to make it one better. And it has an app. This doesn't have an app, but you can open it on your browser on your phone and do it, or just after the round. So what you do, so Nick, this is especially for you what we were talking about. So we'll pretend we're Nick. Okay, so you played. Let's see if it has what Wi-Fi? Moody Gardens, right? So what was the date of it? Okay, so what tee did you play? Okay, and then it was a tournament, correct? So you can mark tournament versus non-tournament, so we can see how you're stats vary under pressure versus casual round. So then you click start round, and it's very simple. Like you can change the yardages there by just, so say it wasn't say they put the tee up, right? And then where did you can change the yardage to what it was, because then it's going to track your driving distance from your approach shot, how far you have. So then if it ended up in the rough, bunker, water hazard, you put the result. Save shot, goes to the next one. So now you've got to change the club. So say you were, say at 250, so you have 225 in, and you hit your 5-wood, right? So this ended up in the bunker, right? So save shot. And if you ever have to go back and edit a hole, it's right there. So anyway, so that you get the point, right? So we'll just say we hold this one. So whenever you get to like around the greens or a knockdown shot, because this will track your distance control too, but you have to make sure, like, so say you had 20 yards, you don't want that to go to your distance control average for lob wedge. So you're going to put recovery right there, and then we're just going to say we hold it, so we can show you the other side. So the hole's over. So now save shot. So that's going to go. So now your strokes gained. So this uses PGA Tour strokes gained. So this is giving you a handicap basically for each area of the game. So if I go to stats, so there's rounds where you track your stuff. There's stats here. So the pink is PGA Tour average, and the blue is the player's average, right? So I didn't keep a lot of my stats because I've been depressed about I'm a bad golfer, and I should have kept my stats to still know. But you can see some stuff. It'll show you 1 month, so you can see if you're improving or getting worse. Because even though you're really good at something, you still want to work on it so it doesn't become a weakness, right? And then here's your all time, right? And then there's a change over here. So, for example, if you come in, like I can look at your stats and see, okay, this last month, this is your all time. Now you're 25 feet on average from 200 to 225 out of the rough. So you're making progress. Let's still work on it, but now we got to focus on this because this used to be 35 feet and now you're 60, or this used to be whatever, you got worse or better. So, and you can also use it for strategy. Like right here is 50 to 75 out of the rough. I average 25 feet from the hole, and from 100 to 150 in the fairway, I average 16 feet. So why am I trying to push it up by greens where I'm going to get a buried lie, a weird, there's a lot of variables. So I can go try to mess around out of the rough, but you can't predict what the ball is really going to do. It might knuckle, it might, go under it, whatever. So every time you play, you should keep your stats casual round or tournament round so that we can see where your strengths and weaknesses are, and then you can dissect it, in all the different areas. Putting, I can see, like we were talking about putting, but this goes, a lot of different ranges, so I can see what distances you need to, work on, and then you can strategize your practice around that. Make sense? All right, so that's enough of classroom talk. Well, what